We're good. All right, everybody. We're live here today on beautiful Lake Lanier. Welcome to the Live Well. Again, another special episode covering the Touring Anglers Association's final day, day 3. The top 12 are going to weigh in here in about an hour, and we appreciate you joining us today. I got, of course, Tim McGuire. Got the crew together. Got Tim right here, and I got, of course, old Father Time, Kevin Thornton right here beside me, though. So we got the crew together, and we're going to be bringing you some commentary on the way in as it happens and see who's going to walk away with the first place prize today. And 65,000 is 65,000, right?
Correct.
$65,000 first place prize. I believe it's 30 for second and 25 for third, or I'm close. I'm right in there somewhere.
Somewhere in that ballpark.
All together,
they all go home with a check today.
That's right. All together, they're giving away $230,000, and that does include the $5,000 big fish yesterday that Chris Johnston won. And so going to take care of a little bit of business real quick before we get going. Again, I want to thank all the Touring Angler Association's volunteers that are making this possible. What you guys can't see, what we can see, what you can't see is there's a lot of people that have jumped in to help with this event. And also want to thank JT and the guys at Laurel Park, Hall County Park and Recs for doing an absolutely fantastic job. The trash is picked up, the place is set up, the bathrooms are clean. Everything that the guys at Laurel Park have done has been absolutely perfect. And of course, want to thank all of our fine sponsors. Give them a quick shout out. You got Sonar Pros, Trent and the gang over there. You've got Festive Waters, Lip Sticker Fishing, Money Saver Lure Retriever, Turner Tire, and of course Etowah Mead Beer and Wine. We normally would have some out here, but again, we are on a county park, so we're doing this without the drink. But we love you guys, and absolutely. And so, if you guys watched yesterday, I think you might have seen what we were kind of astounded with the weights. The fact that Christopher Johnston has brought in 2 days in a row, 24 plus pounds to take a commanding lead. And so really the storyline for today is, can he do that again? If he gets, I believe I wrote down here, 21.8, 21 pounds, 8 ounces, he can break the 70-pound mark. And again, this is no forward facing sonar, no 360, no waypoints. Has it turned into a little bit of a bed fishing tournament? Absolutely it has. And a lot of people didn't think it would, but for some reason, the bass just showed up all of a sudden, and these guys are taking advantage of it. And we'll talk a little bit more here in a minute about bed fishing in and of itself and just kind of get your thoughts on it. I know you guys in the comment section, we don't have a monitor like we normally do on Tuesday and Thursday nights for me to see it, but Tim's going to be working the comment section. And again, if you guys got any questions or comments, make sure you throw them out there. And he will, if it's a question, he'll make sure I get it. We also, for those of you watching yesterday, we're pretty sure we got the Starlink issues resolved. And so hopefully no blackouts today during this episode. But if it does, don't go away. We'll be right back. Sometimes, Elon Musk, he does a great job on that. But, it is nature. So we might, with the cloud cover and the wind, which again, today, it is some kind of windy, is it not?
It is rough.
Yeah. And those anglers have been out there. If you've been watching on Facebook, some of the guys are streaming like Joey Cifuentes. What was funny is on day one, he's out there in his flip-flops, again, cowboy hat fishing. And today, he's back in the coveralls. It is cold out here. When the wind's not blowing, it's comfortable. But when the wind is blowing, it is absolutely terrible. Get that chill down the back of your neck. So, going to be real interesting to see if Christopher Johnston can hold on to the lead and to see how these locals, because there's a few locals. I'm going to read you out the top 12 here in a second. They got a shot. And let's go ahead and take care of that right now.
It's an interesting mixture.
It is. And what you're going to see today when we do the weigh-in is very much like a Bassmaster or NPFL tournament. They're going to be bringing the trucks with the boats to the stage today and getting out and doing that. And the order they're going to do that is whoever's sitting in 12th is going to come first. So they're going to do it kind of in a reverse order. But here's your final 12 guys right here. And listen to the names right here. Let's see, you got Christopher Johnston. He's in the lead with 48.88 pounds. Drew Cook is in second with 42.33. Jared Litner, 42 pounds, is in fourth. And of course, now here we get with some of these locals. Emil Wagner. We all know that name around here, Lake Lanier, 40.26. And by the way, yesterday, I believe, was Emil's birthday.
It was.
And we did not sing happy birthday to Emil, and we won't today, but happy belated birthday to you, Emil. Unless you want to sing, Kevin.
I can do it.
You can do it? Go for it.
Happy birthday to you.
Oh, Lord.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Emil. Happy birthday to you.
Now, listen. I honestly thought we'd get a little bit deeper voice right there.
He's kind of
No,
mid-range
What do you
right there.
what do you call that?
Poor singing.
Poor singing, and we'll
singing.
go with that. All right.
But
So
regardless, happy birthday.
happy
bud.
birthday,
Happy
Emil.
birthday, Emil.
All right, so fifth place is David Williamson, 39.15. Sixth place, Joey Cifuentes, 39.13, and he was kind enough to join us yesterday after the weigh-in. Next local angler right here, name you guys all know, Rob Jordan is sitting in seventh with 38.84. Then you got the brother of the leader, Canadian Cory Johnston, sitting there with 38.34. Kaz Anderson, we're going to consider him a local, even though he's from just across the line in North Carolina. He's in ninth place with 36.8. And my handwriting says 8. It could be 8.6, but right in there. Then you got Jeff Gustafson. I got it close that time.
We'll just go
Close.
with Gussie.
Gussie, 36.69. Another Georgia boy that fishes the NPFL, William Fletcher, is in 11th place with 35.87. And a local legend, Jimmy Millsaps, rounds it out in 12th place with 35.53. So those are the final 12 anglers that made it through the cut right there. And, it's as we've been watching this the last couple of days, and Kevin's joining us today, but you've been watching it. Of course, you've been watching the coverage as best you can and all that.
Yes.
A lot of guys didn't expect the bed fishing to play such a major role, but it has.
It definitely has.
It has, but we did not expect that.
Well, these guys are going after fish, and that's where the fish are. It's where you fish.
Right.
Pretty simple.
Pretty simple. But I would say, let's just say for every 100 bass weighed in, I'd still say 70 of them are spots.
Oh, yeah.
Now, they could be spots that are bedding just a little bit. You can't target them.
Right.
So probably right now, if you're going for any fish, unless you were trying to do something, I believe Jason Johnston said yesterday on the way, and he was trying 40, 50 feet. He was going up after those deep fish. He definitely wasn't bed fishing. And I know a lot of the other anglers were not. But, of course, hey, the bed fishing is coming into play. So I want to kind of get your guys' thoughts on that, right or wrong. I do know that this tournament was not scheduled to take advantage of that. Again, we've gone over that last couple of days, and in our previous podcast with Alan, this was scheduled based upon the schedules of the pros to get them in here. It was just perfect
scheduled
time.
so it didn't conflict with any other schedule to give people the opportunity to fish it.
Yeah,
The bed fishing wasn't a factor in
the
original
scheduling
plan. Yeah.
but it has come into play. And so in looking at social media the last couple of days, I've noticed a lot of people pro or against bed fishing. And so let's just kind of get your takes on it. We'll start with you, Tim. I know your take, but I want you to give it anyway. What's your take on it all?
Well, it's kind of like they didn't have the FFS to mess with, so they found something else to gripe about. It's bed fishing.
It is, okay.
It's fishing, guys. If you guys were out here, you'd be doing the same thing. I would.
Yeah,
Wouldn't you?
I agree.
You're going to go look for them where they're at.
I agree. If I did not have a strong game, especially without the forward-facing sonar
Mhm.
fishing deep, you're kind of limited to the shallow water bite
Right.
anyway. So for this kind of money, 100%.
Absolutely.
Maybe if I'm out joy fishing, I leave them alone. What about you, Kevin?
You know how I feel about it. I think that bed fishing shouldn't be allowed. I think tournaments should be off limits at that time.
all
being
tournaments. All tournaments.
Being a spot lake, though, I think the largemouth have come into play here a lot more too than what we had anticipated. As you said, though, when you're fishing 15 feet or less, you are looking at largemouth.
Yeah, you're looking at, and even the spots have moved up. Today is a little bit different than previous days. The weather every single day has gotten a little bit colder. And so today, right now, when the wind is not blowing for that brief few seconds that it doesn't blow, it's not that bad out here, but that wind is whipping up.
The wind's cold.
It is cold. And down there on the big lake, I can't imagine what it is down. You get down towards, if you're below 369 on the big water, it's got to be whipping up and rough. And these guys have got to make this run back up to Laurel up here because we're on the north part of Lake Lanier. They're going to have to factor that into the coming back in. So
they're used to it, though.
They are used to it.
They're used to running big water.
They are, but it's still
They
different.
add a little
It's
time,
rough.
cuts into their fishing because they're going to have to be bouncing off the rollers and the white caps coming back up in there.
Yeah.
Because I believe it's rippling pretty hard right behind us, and
Right.
we're kind of protected back in here.
Yeah, and you guys might not be able to tell it. I don't have near the amount of papers on the desk as I did yesterday because they were rolling everywhere. But, speaking of that bed fishing, I was reading the social media post today on not just our socials, but everybody else's. And you kind of have three guys You've got the guy that is no bed fishing, kind of like you. You've got the guy that's kind of like you. Hey, it's a tournament. That's what you're going to be doing. You're okay with it.
That's where they're at, where we're going.
Totally respect both of those. Whichever side you land on, I totally respect it. The guys that catch my attention in this are the ones that anytime a big tournament or a well-known tournament comes to a lake and it happens during bed season, all of a sudden that tournament right there is going to tear their lake up and ruin a 38,000 acre lake by bed fishing. But that same guy will go to his pot tournament this weekend for $500,
and he's going to where the
fish.
fish are,
and
trying to win that money.
They're going to do that. So it's kind of I like both ends of the spectrum. I personally, if it's for money and you're fishing a tournament, I'm okay with it. If you're out joy fishing, again, I'd probably leave them alone.
I agree.
But like that, but it's that guy right there. You know, sometimes people just want to be heard, you know, a little bit. But I've noticed that a lot. You know,
Money talks.
Money talks.
Yeah.
It does talk. You know, we've been watching them, and again, I said this earlier. There have been a lot of spotted bass weighed in, and other than if you take those two giants that Christopher Johnston, I'm gonna just call him Chris. I like that better. Chris Johnston has brought in over the last 2 days. If you take those two big fish out of the equation, you know, the spotted bass guys are right there with them.
They're killing it.
They are. And another question going into this, of course, was can some of these younger kids that have just grown up on the forward-facing sonar, can they actually catch fish without it? And I think that's been proven again because of the spotted bass.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Absolutely.
if everybody was bringing in sacks of 5 largemouth, which they have not been,
No.
but if they were bringing in sacks of 5 largemouth, then I would say, okay, well, it's just bed fishing. You don't need the forward-facing anyway.
I think every bag's been mixed.
Yeah,
Well, Emil's all he's held up are spots.
all spots.
All
Do
spots.
you have all spots?
All spots. And if he had largemouth, I might have missed it. But hopefully, after these guys weigh in, we're going to be able to do kind of like what we did yesterday and grab a few, come over and do a couple interviews with them. And we're going to ask them. You know, Joey Cifuentes was on yesterday after the weigh in. He just drug a Carolina rig. So you're dragging a Carolina rig. Maybe spotted bass, but you're not going after those largemouth up on the bank
Right.
with a Carolina rig.
No.
And you're just not doing it. You might be dragging the flats, some of the staging areas for those that have moved up.
He started with a jerk bait though, and then backed off and went with the Carolina.
He
rig.
did. And
I
that
think a
Carolina
few of them have worked the water column, see where the fish are.
Yeah. So it's been interesting to see. And again, maybe we'll get some answers today and see how it plays. Now, as this first hour goes along, we're going to actually, if some important people might show up in the crowd that's going to start gathering behind us, if they show up, we're going to grab them on here in about, I don't know, maybe 10, 15 minutes. We're going to grab Scott Barnes if he's back from getting him a chair, you know, the mayor. And we're going to ask him, you know, what he thinks about this. And Scott's even thought about putting on his own type of tournament locally, utilizing the same locks that are locking out the transducer cords, not going full time to it, but maybe having 2 to 3, maybe 4 of these tournaments per year. And I think in the comment section, a lot of people are interested in doing this. And I can tell you this for a fact, the pros that were sitting right behind our cameras yesterday as they watched the leaderboard after they came through and weighed in, we were kind of listening to the conversations that they were having. And I can tell you right now that every single one of them loved this format. It's old school. It's throwback. A lot of comments on social media said this tournament would be great in the summer or in fall or winter. And we 100% agree. And I think as Alan Brooks takes this idea and he grows it, I think you're going to see a lot of that. Now, you're not going to get out of a springtime bed fishing tournament unless you hold it like real early in the spring, say February.
Yeah.
But I do think that as this grows, you're going to see a summer tournament, a fall tournament, a winter tournament, and then it will be really interesting to see the difference in the weights. Because I don't think anybody thought we were going to have a guy bring in 24 pounds. And just, I mean, if you look at the leaderboard, like Emil, 40.26, that's 20 pounds each day. I mean, average. So that's basically what you would normally see on Lake Lanier with these guys using forward-facing sonar and fishing the timber, fishing deep, or chasing those herring eaters, as we call
herring eaters
out there. So a lot of storylines that are going to kind of build up. But Kevin, since you weren't here yesterday and you've kind of watched this from afar, what's been your take on it, this tournament, and how it's going, so far?
I think so far, and what I've witnessed on TV yesterday, watching you guys on the podcast rather, I think everybody thought it was going to be a spotted lake coming into it.
I did.
The largemouth have played into it. And I want to clarify something. When I said I'm against bed fishing, it's not that I don't like it. It's the process of putting that fish, it's under stress to begin with,
Right.
in a live well and riding around 6 8 hours, and then coming back, especially with rough water they're going to be facing today, and then releasing them later on. I think that does put some stress on the fish. I'm not saying it's going to kill them. I'm not going to say it's going to affect the population. I just think it hurts the fish overall.
Yeah.
So on a lake like this, especially when you're trying to see largemouth make a comeback, or
Yeah.
like on Lake Allatoona where they're trying to make a comeback, I think it does hurt them a little bit. I'm not saying it's going to kill all the largemouth. It does hurt though. But from what I witnessed yesterday and the fish that were coming in, they looked healthy. They were taken care of properly. When you go to the big tournaments like this and they have the proper equipment set up to keep the fish aerated well and then released well, as
Right.
then I think it makes a difference on that fish. It helps them a lot.
Yeah, I agree. I do think, and this is something that the average pot tournament or small club, they don't have what these guys are doing. And I can tell you, and you're right, from the second those fish are brought out, they are very well maintained. I don't think we've had that I've noticed, and I haven't heard of one, I don't think we've had a single dead fish released.
No, it's all they can do to get them weighed.
That's exactly right. So they've done a really good
They're all
job.
in
They
really
have
good
done a
health
job.
when they're getting
They
here.
really have.
They have that, but that is a question when it comes to bed fishing. I do think, and I might be wrong. I'm not a biologist, but I think even if you're out fun fishing and you jerk a fish off the bed, and you hold it up, take your picture, and release it, even though it might go right back in the general area, that's still putting a little bit of stress on the fish. It might throw them back a little bit. Biologists are, far smarter than we are, and they might know better than we do. But I understand what you're saying.
Good.
Kind of similar to summertime bass fishing, while a lot of guys
in the heat.
And a lot of guys go to 3 fish limits. A lot of clubs go to night tournaments. It's all about fish care.
Well, we are carrying ice, frozen bottles of ice or a bag of ice in that live well to keep them cooled down. But
yeah,
they're the ones that care about the fish. And there's a lot that don't do that. Don't go to that extreme.
I think the heat has more of a
Effect.
factor on than the bed fishing.
You think so?
That contrast in heat sometimes, and you're boiling them if
Yeah,
you're not
if you
trying to
don't-
take
if
care
you
of
don't
them.
They're
take
sitting
care
in
of
that live well with the lid closed.
Yeah, you need to keep them cooled down at least somewhere close to whatever the water temperature of the lake is. Not super cold because you're going to put them back in warm water, but you kind of got to keep them in that happy zone so they go right back into the same environment that they left.
Yeah. And again, as you guys noticed yesterday, I am not a math major, but I was kind of thinking to myself, we had 47 anglers, and if every one of them weighed in the limit. So you're roughly looking 235 fish weighed in a day. I guess that's roughly close. So over 2 days, 470, 480 fish, whatever. Of those, I would say, let's just say even if 50% were spots, were largemouth, excuse me, you're looking at about 200 to 250 largemouth that have been caught and released. Lake Lanier is a 38,000 acre lake. And I promise you, there's a lot more largemouth than we know about on this lake. So, again, though, the Touring Anglers Association has done a great job with fish care. And, a lot of them, and listen, I can tell you if I was fishing this coming Saturday, I might fish at Laurel Park because there's been some nice fish
Quite made their way
right up here.
back.
We're going to have Scott Barnes in here in a second, but our crack investigative behind the scenes team went back and was looking at some of the footage and some of the socials from the anglers. And I'm going to give you a list of what these guys were fishing with. Now, yesterday we heard a couple of them on the live talk about fishing with a Ned rig, a Carolina rig, but listen to these buzz bait. There were guys throwing buzz baits yesterday, spinner baits, jerk bait. Listen in particular, listen to this one, guys. Jointed minnow, all right? Shaky headed jig, a Ned rig, a Carolina rig, and of course a spot choker / underspin. But the jointed minnow was one that I haven't thought about that, the rest of these, I get the spinner bait, a little early for me, I would say, but a lot of guys will throw them early in the year to try to catch those shallow water things. But that jointed minnow, and if I believe that might have been what Hank Cherry was throwing a little bit yesterday. And if I'm not mistaken, he was, for you guys fishing this weekend, he was targeting riprap, docks around riprap. And so, the crowd is joining us behind us right now and all that. So you guys are going to hear a lot of people talking in the background. And then this is what's really cool is that this is a Thursday afternoon. All right. Yesterday was Wednesday. We had a crowd show up. It is spring break. So I'm sure a lot of people's vacations or time off might have coincided with this, but it's really cool that for a first, this ain't Bassmaster, and we're still getting crowds up here. People are interested in this tournament and seeing what's going on.
The viewer numbers have been through the roof.
It has been. And again, we're not the only ones that are broadcasting this. I believe Bass 365 will have the weigh-in. They'll have just a stationary camera on the weigh-in. But hey, if you watch that, you don't get the commentary, right? So I got Mr. Barnes right here in there. Yeah, so let's bring the mayor on. Every once in a while, you meet a dignitary out and about. And so, you guys, if you've watched the podcast, you fish Lake Lanier, you know this ugly mug right here.
Hey.
Hey, Mr. Barnes. And so, Scott.
Yeah.
What do you think about it so far?
Man, it's been awesome. Last couple of days, I've been glued to the computer at the house and watching you guys. And, even getting to this point, a lot of the talk, a lot of the excitement about it. Here we are.
We are.
And it's to showcase Lake Lanier.
Yes.
In spring. It's never happened before. You've had the FLW here, Larry Nixon and those guys. But it's all been different times of the years, June and what have you. Lake Lanier is showcasing right now.
It is. And I said it yesterday, and I'll argue it till I'm blue in the face. There's not a better spotted bass lake in the nation, I don't think, than Lake Lanier.
I agree with you 100%.
I do too.
Yeah. And what's funny is, and I'm going to call out Bassmaster Magazine. If you guys are watching, I'm just going to call you out for just a second. You guys came out with the best lakes in the nation magazine. It was, articles on that. And you had Lake Lanier in the Southeast ranked 25th. And it was the 5th lake in Georgia. You had 4 lakes ranked in Georgia higher than Lake Lanier. And to me, it's like, tell me you haven't been on the water without telling me you haven't been on the water. I think somebody was just looking, whoever did the article, we're looking at early spring tournament weights. Lake Lanier shines year round.
Sure does.
Year round. So I want to get your take. We just talked about, a lot of people, pro or con, bed fishing. We did not think coming into this tournament that it was gonna play as much as it has. What's your take on it? Would you change anything, if you would change anything at all, or how do you view it?
So let me make sure I understand the question.
Yeah.
Are we talking about changing this event right here to another time?
No. Just right now, and just say it wasn't this tournament.
Okay, say it was mine.
Say it was yours. I mean, what's your take on bed fishing right now in the tournament format?
Somebody asked that question last night on Facebook, and I did some deep thought about it. And here's my reply with that. There is a lot of people that could say, man, that, and I guess I'm gonna go both ways. I'm gonna flip on both ways. People were
talking. You are a politician. You are
right.
The mayor.
So just kind of go with me here. Is that we have seen this lake in the last 3 years have record-breaking catches, record-breaking quality of weigh-in bags, multiple weigh-in bags. Would you agree with that?
Absolutely, 100%.
Yes.
Now, prior to 3 years ago, there were tournaments. There were people keeping fish in their live wells. There were people bed fishing. There were people fishing in the spring. There were people that were keeping table fare out of this lake.
Yeah.
And it still happens today.
Yeah.
And the lake is healthier than it's ever been.
Yes.
So can I pinpoint that bed fishing hurts this lake? Absolutely not. I can't, because it's only got better. And I've been here for 20 something years. And all of those things we're talking about, tournament fishing in the spring, bed fishing in the spring, and doing all of that, the lake has not declined. It has actually increased, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Your thoughts on that?
No, I agree with that, because we sit back, anytime you have a tournament, you run what I consider the major tournament trail on Lanier, as far as having a tournament every month or just,
Right.
And if you don't bring 20 pounds, I would say 80% of your tournaments, if you're not bringing 20 plus pounds, you might not even get a check. So those weights seem to go up and up and up.
They do.
And so I agree with you on that.
Okay.
But now let's largemouth in particular.
Yeah.
Because that's kind of the sticking point. Is we're known as a spotted bass lake, but I don't think people understand how many largemouth are actually in Lake Lanier.
Yeah, there's quite a few for sure. And when it does come to tournament fishing and competition, and you got a great group of guys that you see, these top 12 and the 47 that actually put it up here, in my opinion, those are the elites of Lake Lanier locals, and these are some fantastic, phenomenal professionals that came to fish this. They right.
Yes.
You got people out there like Emil Wagner, Kaz Anderson, Rob Jordan, a number of the other people that went out and focused a lot on spotted bass and catching 20-pound bags with no forward-facing sonar.
That's right.
And then you got the guys going, okay, I'm a hog hunter. I'm staying in the dirt, and I'm going to go look for 5 bites, and I'm going to pass in 3 feet of water counting fish that are on the bed. And I may see, here's to your point about how many largemouth are in here. You can go into a pocket or cove, and if you find the right one, you'll find 25 fish in one pocket or cove.
Yes.
And they're largemouth. And you can pick and choose, okay, that's a 6-pounder, that's a 4-pounder, you know, or what have you. And it's not easy, but and it sounds like it while I'm talking about it, but for a guy to have an 8-pound fish yesterday and 24-pound bag the day before and back it up the following day tells you Litner is strong, and he's one hell of a bed fisherman.
Yeah.
And bed fishing can crush you on Lake Litner with largemouth. To answer your question, Daryl Strayhorn used to do it quite a bit. I mean, every time there'd be, and spots would be on bed too, and people would catch spots off a bed, but not sight fishing.
Yes.
They would literally throw the Carolina rig, or they'd throw the shaky head and drag it 10, 15 feet where they knew there was some stubble or rock or what have you. And that female would bite that you're not sight fishing for that spot. The locals that are really good, like these guys here right now, they're doing one thing. They are going and looking for the biggest largemouth in the biggest areas that they can, most areas they can find, and numbers game on
Yes.
that.
Yeah.
It comes down to percentages.
Well, and it's also, I mean, this is a tournament.
Yeah.
So you got to
It's
calculate.
$65,000. You better pick
Money
your game.
talks, we said that earlier.
And the cool thing is everybody today is fishing for profit
Mhm.
because $5,000 buy-in. I think, and I might be mistaken, but I believe even the 12th place angler gets $10,000
That's correct.
today. Is that what it ended up
That's
at?
correct.
$10,000. So everybody's going to walk away with a check.
Yeah, man.
And they better buy some dinner, especially these local guys. I mean, they better buy some dinner. Going on that thought and this format, it seems like I heard the pros talking yesterday. They love it. I see it on social media. People love it. It's a throwback. And again, you're not anti-forward facing
No,
sonar,
not
just
at all.
like Alan Brooks here is not anti-forward facing sonar. This is not a protest tournament. But going forward, a lot of guys have started bringing up the idea. I even had a guy hit me sent me a text today thinking about possibly doing some of this for high school anglers and all that. But you running the major trail, and I mean, it is the major trail on Lake Litner that's consistently here. You've kind of thought about having the idea of maybe bringing this kind of format every so often to your trail.
Yes.
So what's your plans with that?
Yeah. So it inspired me because of this event.
Right.
You know, hearing about this event, seeing what's happening here. I'm the guy that said, hey, I'm gonna throw a tournament on Lake Litner. Everybody knows that I run a tournament.
Yeah.
The group has come to me and has suggested, once this has come out, hey, did you mind doing a couple? So me and Tim's put a little thought, very little thought
And
into it.
Tim Hawkins
with
Hammond's
Hammond's.
Fishing Center.
Yeah.
Great local tackle shop. Tim's a little sketchy, but Hammond's is great, right?
Yeah. To answer your question, 100%, we will absolutely be having a couple of tournaments. I'm not going to have the May 4th tournament that I was getting input for. I think that was kind of miscrewed on the website, where people thought I named that date and it was set in stone. It was more of an input, trying to get some people's opinions.
Right.
And I've got so many opinions that we're kind of weighing those options out to see, such as, you know, should there be a cutoff? Should there be a practice day? Should there be a polygraph? What's the entry fee? What day of the week? You know,
Yeah, lots of stuff to think about.
But to answer your question, I think it's awesome to have. We are going to have it in the winter.
Yep.
And I've got a permit that I just submitted for. No promises, no guarantees. But June 2nd is a permit that I have just went in and put in last week. So if I get that permit, what is that? We're at beginning of April right now. So
Yeah, so
60 days away, roughly 49, 60 days,
Yeah.
50 days, whatever.
you do math better than I do.
Yeah, sometimes. We have time to put the first one together, and it's going to be like this. Hey, we're going to learn from it, right?
Yes.
But it's not going to be nothing more than putting a lock onto your transducer like they have, because we've learned from them, and we've got to consider a polygraph. Come pay your money, and let's go have fun.
Yeah.
That's it. But it's going to be a different time of year.
Yeah.
Yeah, June, and then
understand
also
that.
in the winter.
Okay.
I'm
yeah.
all for it.
Hey,
Would you do it at this time of the year though?
would you say going into next year?
I don't see why not. I mean, I really don't. I mean,
Because you think the lake's healthy enough to sustain it.
yes,
Okay.
I do. Just because if you honestly look at the photo, and I'm one of them too. I see a bunch of guys holding up pictures in Facebook in the summer and all that. I can't stand that.
Yeah.
But
You're more anti-summer
that's
fishing.
me.
Yeah, you're more anti-summer fishing, just in past experiences.
But my opinion doesn't matter. It's just mine, is what
Yeah.
I'm saying.
I understand.
Do what you want. Be responsible. Don't be an idiot, at the end of the day.
But you're gonna have those.
Yeah.
It's hard to weed out those.
Mhm.
And the good thing about you bringing it, for everybody that's talked about this, I've heard a lot of comments that $5,000, that's rich, and it is. But if you're going to get pros interested in something, you're going to have to bring out that kind of money. You're thinking about doing this on a local level. So the guys that have said this kind of tournament's too much for me, now they'll have the opportunity to possibly fish it with you at a much lower buy-in.
Yeah.
Probably a tad higher than your normal because it's a special tournament.
Yeah. We want it affordable,
but you want to have a good price,
and we want to have participation. And so, what's that sweet spot, right?
Yes.
Is it 300? Is it 500? Is it 1,000? You take those three numbers, and you can look at the payouts and go, "Wow! Look at the payout at $1,000 entry. Look at the payout at 500. Look at the payout at 300." But where am I truly going to get the participation to come? And Paul Driscoll said it best, just like all of us know. He's 60 people will sign up and 30 of them will actually pay. So
that's it.
So there's going to be that $300 to $500 range. I'm not going to go above 500, and I doubt I'll even get that high.
Yeah, but I still think it's great. And that's the cool thing about what Alan has started here with the Touring Anglers Association. Guys, if you don't know, the reason it's called Touring Anglers is because this was kind of set up as a supplemental for pro fishermen, to give them a shorter window of being away from their families and just kind of a different throwback kind of thing. And so he's definitely not trying to replace, bass or MLF.
Yeah.
It's just kind of a supplemental thing. But we on the local level can learn from what he's doing and apply it there. And I think, I mentioned it, when you said that, I think it's a great idea. And it doesn't take no more than just that lock, very little expense. And that way you give them, if you go to the 300 or even the 500, though, that's still an incentive to bring the better anglers out. And then some of the yahoos like me, they're like, I just want to rub elbows with these guys and get out there and just see.
Yeah.
Anybody can luck up on that.
Sure. And it's not just bringing out the elite. It's bringing out people now that could say, hey, I've got a chance to compete now without the forward-facing sonar if they've got an issue with forward-facing sonar. Me, truly, I absolutely love it.
Right.
I can't come out here anymore without my forward-facing sonar because I'm addicted to it. Can I fish without it? Absolutely. I'm a shallow water fisherman. I'm a dragger. I'm a worm and a jig guy. And 90% of the time that I'm fishing, I may, scan up and see that there's a group of fish, but I'm going to drag that worm regardless if I see fish or not and get bit sometimes.
Yeah.
But I think it gives an opportunity of somebody that old school that doesn't like forward facing sonar or doesn't have it, and I throw a tournament, they can say, well, now I can probably go compete with these guys.
Yeah, I think it's a great idea.
Yeah.
All right, so coming into the final day, old man Johnston right there has got basically what amounts to a 6.5 pound lead.
Yeah, big lead.
Anybody gonna be able to overcome that? That's gonna be a tough one.
It all depends on what he does today.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
If he brings 24 in again, it's over. That's wire to wire, baby.
Yeah.
If he gets 21 something, he's going to break 70 pounds.
I've watched a little bit, and I won't give anything away. Some people have already probably watched it today too, but I don't know what the second, third, and fourth place is doing right now, but it should be very interesting at weigh-in.
Well,
It
Gerald
really
Litner
should.
said the other day that he's had 3 big ones on bed that he was going back for.
Yeah, he did.
So we know he's going after large.
It'll be very...
this is the day. This is the day to really take those chances. You've made it. You're here. You're going to get a check. Now let's go for the gusto right there.
Yeah, and to add to that though, and you've already mentioned this without a doubt every day of it, but to take a look at our locals, you got Emil, you got Rob, you've got Kaz Anderson,
Yep,
you got Jesse Millsaps,
Jimmy,
and you've got
William Fletcher is still considered kind of a local, even though he's a little farther down south. Yeah. But yeah, I mean that
says a lot, right? Top 12.
It's yes, with the field that this had, and I was impressed with any local that came out and fished. A lot of them didn't make the cut, but they came out, put their money where their mouth is, and took a shot.
That's right,
and they did well.
That's right.
But these guys have just had hellacious couple days.
Yeah, man.
And so it's like you said, Lanier has really shined, and I just don't understand why it doesn't get the national attention that I think it deserves.
Yeah, I don't know. May you talking about bringing other big circuits here?
Yes, so every so often.
Maybe because just the location and the logistics to, Atlanta's not far, but it's a crazy ass city to get down there.
Okeechobee's further
Really
than
tight.
That. Okeechobee's further than that, though. And I can tell you, they don't have the logistics.
But Gwinnett Arena had the FLW, and
Yeah.
that's not far. They flew them in on helicopters down there. One
Yeah.
time. And that was really cool. So I think we're set up to do it.
I think also I did see somebody put in the comments that it has to do with the, a lot of places, the community, just say Gainesville here, because we're right here closest to Gainesville, their tourism boards have to invest the dollars to get some of these big time tours in here.
So it's money.
I think that might be a lot to do. It sure as hell ain't the lake.
Yeah.
The lake's got it.
Bucks.
So maybe, somebody with some of our localities around here are watching what's going on here, and maybe you guys can invest your tourism dollars a little bit, because this brings a big tournament. Especially think about if we got all 200 in this field here, just the money brought into the local economy, and whether it's through hotels, restaurants, or even bait and tackle shops out there, money gets spent when you invest a little bit, But the lake itself, I don't think there's a better lake in the state to do it.
No, it's phenomenal, and the facilities here.
Laurel Park's awesome. Yeah,
and I've been to a few lakes. I love Carter's to go up there and fish, but they're just very small. Some of these. You got Eufaula that's good. You got West Point that has a decent ramp. I think you can use. But Laurel Park here, man, they'll support all of it.
Well, they're throwing 200 plus high school boats. Yeah, come out of Laurel anyway.
Right.
Well, Mayor, again, I appreciate you, joining us for a little bit, and at least putting that out there for people that are watching that you're going to be doing all this. And here in about 25 minutes, we're going to have a little bit of action.
Yeah, man, I can't wait. Thanks for having me. I want to say hello to my cousin Wes Stevenson down there in Columbus, Georgia. He's been watching every day, and he wants to get up here and fish. And we grew up together fishing down in Eufaula.
Yeah.
So he's watching, and my buddy Lane Wright, he told me to mention his name. I don't know why. But
Lane Wright, there you go. Lane Wright.
Little paintball Atlanta guy,
Okay, absolutely. Them guys are like kayak guys. They're a different breed. Scott, I appreciate it, buddy.
Thank you, Danny. Good to see you guys.
Good to see you, Scott. Take care.
Hey, all right, here, I'm going to try to grab you another. Hey, Tim, go grab Strayhorn for me. See if Strayhorn would come on for a second. He's one in the red hat. So what I'm going to try to do is grab Daryl Strayhorn, who's over there. Come here, big dog. Daryl actually has fished in this tournament. Didn't make the cut, but get on up here, big dog, for a second. Pull that mic close to that beautiful mouth you got right there.
What's going on, Mr. Dan?
Listen, hey, you put your money in, you got in, and you fished it. You experienced it. I want you to tell those out there that are watching just what you think about this format in this tournament.
I think it is the most awesome fishing tournament I have ever fished, Danny.
Really?
It was so cool to go back old school.
Yeah.
Like we did when we was growing up.
Yeah.
I told some guys yesterday, I never even turned my 2D on.
Really?
I left both on maps, both my graphs on maps, and just went with it.
Yeah.
It was so fun.
Well, what were you seeing out there on the water? I mean, let me rephrase the question. Did you concentrate on, looking for largemouth or spots?
The first day, I thought with that weather being around 80 for 3 days in a row,
Yeah.
I concentrated the first day on all largemouth.
Right.
With the weather, the storms that came through Tuesday night, in my mind, I thought it would back them off.
Yeah.
So I set myself up great the first day with 1854.
Yeah.
And I thought, you know what, go out there and try to catch 17 pounds of spots and put myself 17, 18 pounds, put myself in this last day. And I probably caught 25 fish yesterday, all 2.5 pounders, 2 3/4.
Couldn't find the big girls.
I could not find any big fish.
Yeah. Well, yesterday we were trying to figure out what the cut line might be. And we just kind of took the 12th place. It was 19. We doubled it, -2 pounds for the weather coming in. So we thought 36 pounds. So we kind of figured that 35, 36 pounds.
That's what I had figured.
And actually 35.53 got Jimmy Millsaps in that 12th spot.
Yeah.
So that's that's a decent strategy. But it seems like some of these guys, those largemouths, stayed up. They were able to find them.
They absolutely did. Probably about 11:30 yesterday morning, I had a limit of fish, maybe 12 pounds, 12 and a half. and I was close to a bedding pocket. And I roll in there. I'm like, I'm just going to look, just to curiosity, get the best of me.
Right.
I go back there and see a 6 and a 4 rolling on each other. I'm like, I'm done. I'm like,
what was happening.
I knew those guys were going to hammer them.
Yeah.
And, you know, I got a lot of respect for these pros. You know, this is the first big time event that I fished. I fished tournaments for 37 years, but this was different, you know, hopping in this and you know, getting up early, getting out here, doing all the ride around, you know, man, it'll wear you down.
It is.
And not only that, it's the mind games that it plays with you. And I was telling a couple of people, probably the thing that hurt me yesterday was being a local was, man, I'm going to catch them better here. I'm going to catch them better over there. Instead of just settling into a day, just fishing.
Yeah.
It's always, you've got a better spot. You got a better spot. So I found myself yesterday chasing those spots and just running all over and not fishing as much as I really needed to. So it was a great learning experience.
That right there is interesting because everybody has said, you know, well, the majority of people said, hey, a local's going to win it because they know the places. They know the places. And what you just said right there was being a local kind of hurt you because you went by history.
Absolutely.
And not, you know, and so these pros that are here, they don't have that history. No. So they were just, that's an interesting take.
I get back last night, you know, I watched, I can't pronounce his name, Joey.
Cifuentes. Listen,
it
took me 3 days.
so I get back, you know, last night watching TV and you know, I wasn't down and out. Man, I had fun in
No,
there.
absolutely, yeah.
And I'm watching him on TV. I'm like, dude, I know where that's at. And I actually fished that right off of it yesterday morning.
Really?
Throwing a jerkbait. And he stayed there pretty much all day.
He did.
I'm like, it just makes perfect sense to me why he done that.
Yeah.
I mean, he was just catching those fish coming in towards that blow through, and you know, and basically he was throwing over spots that were moving in, and some of those areas he was dragging it through a bed. I mean, some of those spots in them both, those are bedding fish.
Right. You're not sight fishing those. They're there.
You're catching them in 8-10 foot of water.
And is that kind of what you had on your mind going in?
That
same thing.
Yeah.
This is where they should be.
This is where they should be.
And you caught them. You just didn't catch the right ones.
I was catching all the males and you know, 10:30, 11 o'clock, you know, the panic sets in. Wait a minute now. I know what I got to have and this ain't cutting it.
Yeah.
So, you know, I found myself starting to run harder and harder and, you know, here to there. And then when I roll in on that bed fish, I'm like, I'm done.
Yeah. So you knew like, okay, I'm 4 hours behind basically on this. So I know before I let you go, I want to get your thoughts. You know, granted, you didn't get the results you thought, you know, that you wanted, but still all respect from us in the world for getting in there and competing. But tell everybody what it was like to compete against these pro anglers, to be able to walk up in a line, put your fish on the table with the names like Watson and, you know, you got Gussie here and Polinick and all them, Hank Cherry, all these guys.
I'll tell you what.
What's it like?
It was very awesome. And, you know, all these guys are friendly too.
That's
what
I've noticed.
That is something that, you know, you walk up and you're talking to somebody and they may know who you're talking to and they come up and brother, they're going to introduce themselves to you.
Yeah.
I mean, they're not arrogant. A lot of just down to earth guys fishing a tournament.
That's what I noticed and all that. And I, you know, and if you had a chance to get up here or you're still close enough and you can get up here before the weigh-in's over, I noticed yesterday a lot of these guys were hanging around. If there was a kid there, they'd sign an autograph. They would talk to the kid and everything. So, and that's really what makes a pro seem like a pro's pro. The guys that would take the time for the local and all that.
Absolutely.
So I tell you what, Daryl, like, you know, I think you represented us locals well. You know, I know you wanted to listen. I know you wanted, you did.
And, you know,
but you know what? You had the balls to do it.
Hey,
that means a lot. That means a lot to us. Like that, you jumped in there.
I enjoyed it, and I'd do it again. I'd do it again next week.
That was
if my back would hold up.
I know, but that was my next question, and I'll let you go after this question. This format, do you see it expanding?
Absolutely. You know, I talked to Alan yesterday after the weigh-in and said, "Hey, what are we looking like in any future events?" And he said, "Daryl," he said, "my phone is blew up with text, emails." He said, "This thing is fixing to get big, and brother, I can't wait."
That's awesome. That's awesome.
This is, like I say, this is fishing again.
Yeah, 100%. Well, I tell you what, Stray Horny, I've known you a long time, but just from me to you, I'm proud of it, buddy.
Hey, I enjoyed it.
Appreciate
Thanks,
you.
Danny.
Appreciate
Yes,
you.
sir.
Thank you.
All right, so guys, so we're about 15 minutes away from the boats showing up and seeing what these guys are bringing in today. And if you paid attention to what, and I don't know, maybe I read it wrong, but when Scott was up here, did you kind of had the feeling that he was saying that from what he's been seeing today, Johnston, the leader, might be struggling a little bit? Did you take it that way?
He was worried about some of the locals, I think, coming back up
With
their weights. Yeah.
Yeah. So, going into this tournament, the thing I thought was if a guy could bring in 20 pounds of spots all 3 days, he was going to have a chance.
Have a shot.
And, right now, that would put, just say if Jimmy Millsaps in 12th place brought in 20 pounds, that put him at 55. So, I thought that 60-pound range, but you bring in 48.8, 42.3, 42, 40 pounds. Emil's local 40 pounds. I mean, that's right there. And I don't think I saw Emil weigh in a largemouth. Did he hold up a largemouth yesterday?
Spots both days.
I thought it was all spots.
Kevin said he thought it was spots.
Both days.
So
I don't recall seeing a largemouth.
So it's going to be interesting seeing that.
The pressure's on Chris because most of the pros will tell you they'd rather be in second place going into the final day than they would first.
I would, but I wouldn't want to be in second by 6 pounds though. You know what I'm saying? But it is.
I understand that too.
It's like the guy at Daytona. You don't want to be in the lead going until you cross that lap. That last lap, you're bound to get past. So that's kind of what it's setting up to be today. But it was really cool. Like Daryl fished it, and I've been talking to Daryl about this tournament for a couple of weeks now. And the excitement, especially with all these local guys, the excitement that they had for the event was something that we haven't experienced, at least on a local level, in quite a while. I mean, we always have, like the mayor was here, we always have Barnes tournaments and stuff like that. But this actually is the starting point of what could be something great. And lucky for us, we're here at the start. We've been blessed by Alan to be able to broadcast and do the weigh-in and everything. And what you're going to see here in about, I guess, I haven't seen the first boat come in yet, but
Probably got 10 or 15 minutes.
about 10 or 15 minutes. Have we got any questions or comments whatsoever that we might need to address?
Let me check. I have been
I know
mingling.
you've been out there mingling.
I do have one thing to address.
Yeah.
Our film crew, I met with them while I was off camera, and we have got mics that are going to be able to let them hear what the announcer's saying so we don't have to repeat it.
Okay.
So what it'll do for you guys is when they go to that shot and they're talking and hopefully whatever the angler says, we're just going to be quiet for a few minutes and let that be the screenshot.
Okay, that's perfect. That's
saves us
perfect.
from repeating it, and hopefully the way everything's wired up, you should be able to hear what's coming out on the stage as good as us.
Yeah, and that's a good thing. Yesterday it was a little difficult at times. I think we got the speakers fixed for them. We kind of helped them out. Shout out to Turtle Box.
Yeah.
Shout out to Turtle Box.
And our film guys are top notch. They are awesome guys.
So the guys that actually film our TV show, The Real American Road Trip, the guys from Chattanooga are actually down, and they're helping us out today. And they actually, we were listening to it yesterday, and a lot of people were talking about how his mic was cutting out a little bit. So we've addressed that. And Turtle Box, if you're wanting to sponsor anybody, hey, right here, the live well here at Fish North Georgia. So
hey, those turtle boxes are awesome. We were playing music on it out there while we were getting all this stuff set up.
Had the Van Halen crank. They are great. And you actually can pair a couple of them and get the stereo.
We had two paired up and had stereo out here. Great.
Yeah. So Tim's checking the comments.
I saw one of the questions. They were wondering what the pros were using to catch these bedding fish.
You know what? I don't know, but that's a question we definitely can ask them.
Yep.
Reason I did not ask that yesterday when we had Cox and them on, of course, they had one more day of fishing.
One more day of fishing.
So I knew they were not going to tell me, but we'll try if after the weigh-in, after they announce the winners and everything, we'll try to grab a few of those and just see if. And that's why I had our guy went through and just kind of go back through the jig. I can see. I imagine, it's always popular to throw something white, some white kind of jig in there. I'm telling you right now, I think the best bed fishing bait by far is a Ned rig. And I know a lot of people like a Ned rig, but it doesn't really spook them. But I know a lot of guys, I've seen them. I remember watching the NPFL a couple years ago, watching Jesse Millsaps, and he was targeting them with swim jigs. He had a white and orange swim jig. And, the cool thing about it was it's not just throwing something in the bed to try and, they're just not going to bite it. There is an art to doing that, especially if the buck bass is there. I know a lot of guys, will say the buck bass is going to hit most of the time first, but they'll let that buck bass, they don't want to set the hook on him. They'll let him take it off the bed a little bit, let him drop it, let him go back, and then they'll cast again. And eventually, like all women do, they get a little tired of us men not doing the job, and they're like, I'm just going to take care of it myself.
Right.
Except for you. You're the husband of the year and everything like that. So we know you got it handled.
I got it handled.
You got it handled. So
No
it's
worries.
not as easy as people think. It's
not.
Frustrating.
And I don't know how many times I've watched a guy see a big one on bed and spend all this time after that one fish, and 2 hours later, that girl just is not going to commit.
She's not going to eat.
And she's not going to eat. And of course, you don't snag them. Got to catch them inside the mouth and everything.
Mhm.
So there is a boat coming in. I don't know if it's our first competitor coming in, but again, so here's the format. What they're going to do is they're going to trailer the boats up behind us. They're going to bring them in. 12th place will be first. And so we're going to go 12th, 11th, 10th, down that. And they're going to come and you're going to see the boats pull up. What's that? 3:20. 10 minutes. Well, okay. All right. So 3:20, the boats are going to start showing up back here.
10 minutes, folks.
10 minutes. So we will try that. So any questions though?
Most of our questions are between the
They're
people
talking,
that are commenting, and most of the ones that I've seen we've already kind of covered. So
okay.
this is more about this tournament and the way in, but still keep those questions coming.
Yeah,
If you got a good one,
we'll do our best.
we will do our best to answer it if it hadn't already been addressed.
Yeah, and so, the take so far for me, though, is like this has been a very successful tournament. I know it's getting a lot of national attention. In fact, it's actually trending on Google. The Touring Anglers Association is trending on Google today, and that's a good thing. And I think this is something that the people want. And again, I don't think the pro circuits are going to ban forward-facing sonar. I think they might get to the point where they limit it a little bit. Maybe
limit. They're not
maybe
gonna
one
ban it.
transducer. I think it'd be more interesting than the guys having 32 monitors on their boats with
Right.
12 transducers. I think you can limit that.
Maybe the states that start limiting.
Oh, you think it could be done like on a political?
Yes.
You think so? That's an interesting take.
Well, they did that with the Alabama rig.
That's true. So
Well, now that you mention it,
I haven't.
that wasn't just a local, hey, we're not going to let you do that. That became different states have different regulations on
Yeah.
hooks,
The fisheries
how many
did,
dummy
yeah.
baits can be on them.
That's interesting, and I think I hadn't thought about that. Kevin
That's
come
why
up
we
with.
have
That's
the
why we
wise
have the
man
wise
here.
old sage over here. It's not for your looks only.
Okay.
You come up with something smart every once in a while like that. So
It's just an opinion.
just an opinion.
That's
Let me
all we
wet my
have.
whistle right here.
This tournament has been awesome.
It has
You've
been.
got mixed entry-level pros, because I'm not going to call them anything else.
Yeah, they're not
a couple of these guys, they're entry-level
They're
pros mixed with pros
Well, I'm gonna tell you
that are out here in
yeah.
this top 12.
You guys, if you're watching and you're not from Georgia, keep an eye out on this name, Emil Wagner. He's currently sitting fourth.
I think third and fourth they got the shot at the first place.
Yeah.
They do.
Gerald
So
and Emil.
So Emil's 8 pounds behind, just a little over 8 pounds. And if he can get that kicker or the guys above him falter a little bit, that's where it's going to get interesting. But remember the name Emil Wagner, because that's going to be, you're going to be seeing him fish.
You'll be seeing a lot of that in the future.
Yeah, great looking kid too. Great. I wish I had his looks.
He's an awesome guy.
And he's just cool, collective, and bless his heart. Yesterday they drew for the polygraph, and it was his birthday. He got drawn for the polygraph, and he was like, "I got a date."
I know.
So he had a date, but he had to go do the polygraph, of course, of which he passed with flying colors, and is here to fish today. But a lot of great. Rob Jordan is another name locally that people know about. Makes some fantastic baits, but he's fished on the professional level a little bit, and glad to see him get back. But I tell you, there was a lot of guys that hadn't fished a lot lately that are coming back into it. Jason Johnston being one of them. Used to fish the FLW, was a hammer on Lanier.
Mhm.
Took a couple years off, but he's got the itch now to get back on the water, and so he was in this event. And interesting to listen to him yesterday. He is known for finesse fishing. Yesterday, without forward-facing sonar, okay, without his live scope, he was still trying to catch fish out of 40 and 50 foot of water because they're there year-round. So one thing on Lanier is you've got fish that stay shallow year-round, fish stay deep year-round, and then you got, of course, the ones that go back and
Right.
forth
They
in
don't
between.
all run to the bank at one time.
The wind is what hurt him yesterday trying to fish so deep. And again, that's another thing today. You probably can't tell on the cameras, but the wind is still whipping up pretty good, and it's been going strong all day. I know I watched the weather forecast before I came up here, and it was supposed to be sustained winds from 15 to 25, depending on what part of the state. So they've dealt with the wind, but had some guys tell me that even with this wind, there are still some protected pockets. If you could find that right protected pocket that the fish were either bedding in or had the right structure, you were at least out of the wind long enough to do that. So, all right, so the competitors are showing back up right now. We got some boats coming in here. It's about that time, guys.
It's getting game time.
It's getting game time. I'm getting a little amped up to see what they're going to bring in.
After yesterday,
yeah,
this is going to be very, very interesting.
Can Chris Johnston go wire to wire?
Right.
3 days in a row. Can he repeat? Will he bring? I was shocked yesterday. I thought, listen, I'll be honest. I thought him and Litner both had 24 pounds day one.
Mm-hmm.
I thought, okay, that would be an anomaly. I did not expect another 24-pound sack yesterday.
Yeah, and there's such a high possibility and percentage that he could come in with another one.
He could, and that's what I want to say. If he can go wire to wire,
that'd put him well into the 70s, almost 80 pounds.
21 pounds will bring 21.8, I think, right there will bring him at the 70-pound mark for the tournament.
Another 24, he's 75 pounds.
Yeah, and that's 3
days, no FFS.
That's the thing. That's the thing. Old school fishing again, and you're gonna have your naysayers. Oh, he's bed fishing, but damn, he caught the fish. He caught the fish that were present.
Right.
Yesterday, and I forget the actual decimals. I know it was over 8 pounds, but that's a $5,000 fish yesterday. And actually, what was bad is he had 741, and another angler, and I forget the angler. I don't know if it was Williams, had a 7.9 or something like, or 7.9. And so I was like, well, there's your big fish. And then here comes Johnston with the 8+.
8 pound, yeah.
Just took it right out
we
of
thought
his
it
hand.
was a slam dunk with that
I thought it was a
7.42 or
slam
7.4 or whatever it was. And then how he pulls that hoss out.
There we go.
Somebody always comes in late.
Yeah, getting warmed up.
Well, and here's the beauty of the way they're going to weigh in. He'll be last. So let's hush for a second.
Touring Anglers Association, first tournament that we've ever had. We've got our top 12 anglers fishing today. First place will pay $65,000 to the winner today. Second place person isn't bad either. That's $30,000. We've got $230,000 in total payout today on a 47 boat field that started. We're down to our 12 final anglers. Leading this tournament after 2 days is Chris Johnston with 48.88. 48.88. On day one, he had 24.75. On day two, he had 24.13. Yesterday, he had a big bass of over 8 pounds. It was 8.11, I think. And that won him $5,000 yesterday by being the big bass leader after the first 2 days. So if he holds on to that, he's going to add another $65,000 to that, which would make his total winnings over $70,000, right at $70,000.
Not a bad 3 days.
In second place is Drew Cook with 20.74 the first day, 21.59 the second day, for a total of 42.33. So he's a little over 6 pounds behind. In third place is Jared Litner. He's got a total after 2 days of, let's see, he had 24.73 the first day and 17.27 the second day. So he's got a total of 42 pounds even. Then in fourth place, Emil Wagner with 21.06 the first day, 19.2 the second day, a total of 40.26 for 2 days. In fifth place, David Williams with 39.15 for 2 days. Joey Cifuentes with 39.13 for 2 days. Rob Jordan, 38.84, is in seventh. Cory Johnston is in eighth with 38.34. Ninth is Kaz Anderson with 36.86. 10th place, Jeff Gustafson with 36.69. 11th, William Fletcher, 35.87. And the final angler in the top 12 is a local fella named Jimmy Millsaps. Y'all might know him. And he's got 35.53. So as windy as it's been today, anything could happen. Catching another 24-pound bag would probably really be phenomenal. So hopefully we'll see one of those again today. The wind been gusting from 20 to 40 miles an hour, I'd say, today, all day. So it's been tough. But let's give these guys a big welcome when they come up here on the stage. And I ask you to put your hands together. Let's give them a big welcome. They've traveled a long ways to be here, and we certainly appreciate them supporting the local economy. I know you guys do, and it's been a great fun time for everybody that's been involved in this. And we appreciate all the local support that's been here to watch the weigh-ins. It's been huge. You guys got a beautiful lake here, and we've really enjoyed ourselves. So we'll get started as soon as the first anglers start bringing their fish up. We're going to start in reverse order. We'll bring up the 12th through 6th place first, and then the final 5 will be the last ones to weigh in today, is the way we're trying to plan this. So hopefully that'll work out and add a little suspense to the weigh-in.
All right, so there you go. So the festivities have officially started. We got the guys.
On.
It is on. So the guys are trailering their boats right now behind us, and they're going to walk up. So they're not going to do the drive-through. Oh, I thought they were doing the drive-through. Huh?
Small change.
Okay, well, small change. So they're not going to be pulling up.
You're still going to get to see it, though.
That's right. So they're going to be walking it up, but they're still going to get the guys in order 12th and go 12th to 1. And
there's a lot of camera equipment out here.
Yeah.
A lot of stuff going on.
Somebody's going to pick them up.
Oh yeah, they'll do that.
And that turtle box is awesome.
Does that not sound a lot better? It does sound a lot better. So again, guys, I hope you guys
let
are
us know in the
watching
comments if it's I think it's great. You guys should be able to hear it.
What?
All today either.
What's that?
We haven't lost connection.
No, so yeah, so
Sat
we got
links working right for us.
Good. It was funny yesterday. We had some comments about that. It's like technology, man. All we can do is throw it up there, and we go with it the best.
I'm looking at it on top of the van. I mean, it's there.
It is
and it's
there.
working good today.
And so the cool thing about this is we're waiting for the anglers. This is a new mobile podcast setup that we have bought, new mics and everything, so that we wouldn't have to tear down the one at the shop. So now we're going to be able to take you, do our Tuesday and our Thursday nighters from Fish North Georgia, from the shop. But now we can start doing on location podcasts. And so being able to travel a little bit, and we don't always have to get somebody to come in the shop. We can go to them. And so that's what you guys can expect in the future. So
stay tuned.
So
we'll
man,
tell them where we might be and what might do it.
That's right.
It's a great time to invite everybody on down on Thursday nights and Tuesday nights to the shop.
That is true.
Yeah.
That is true. So yeah, I'm gonna let him get through with his test and make sure that he yeah, it sounds great, buddy.
Sounds good for me.
Yep. Yeah, you're good. So
Turn it up a whole lot, we get too much feedback.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a
It's
lot of
good
equipment
from
here. So yeah, that's true what Kevin just said. Any Tuesday night or Thursday night that we're doing a show at the shop, you guys are always welcome to come get there about 7:00, talk with the guests that's going to be on, and just hang out during the show. Tuesday nights, for those that don't know, we do all the other species, trout, crappie, stripers. We got a trout episode coming up next Tuesday, and on Thursdays, that's our bass, our big lake.
12th place through 6th place, 12th place through 6th place. As soon as y'all get loaded, you can bag your fish 12th through 6th.
All right, so he's calling up the anglers now. Good, okay. So he's calling up the anglers now. Again, we're going to start 12th place, and that's going to be the first person to weigh in will be the local legend, Jimmy Millsaps from Pickens County, Georgia. A lot of people know I guess it's his nephew, Jesse.
I think so.
Is that his nephew?
Whenever y'all get loaded up, get ready, and then we'll bring up. I want 6th place through boat number 1 or place number 1 to keep your fish in the live wells. 6 through 1, keep your fish in the live wells, and listen for us to call you down here.
Well, there you go. Man's taking charge is what he's doing right now.
Absolutely.
So he's taking charge. But Jimmy is from Pickens County, and he's a local legend that
1 through 5, keep your fish in the live wells.
don't want to talk over him right there. So
6 through 12, you can bring your fish on down. 1 through 5, keep your fish in the live wells.
yeah, so guys, this is gonna be excellent to see just exactly what's going on. I want to see just these weights today. If these guys are staying with these phenomenal weights that we've had over the last 2 days, which again, I'll be honest, I didn't expect. I really thought with the weather and all that we'd have lower weights.
60 pounds or less.
I thought 60
The
pounds.
consistency is phenomenal.
Well, I thought again, yesterday 36 would be the cut. I thought 60 would win the tournament, or you had to be near 60 or just above, right there to win because I actually thought the weather would play a much bigger factor, and I don't know that it has, even though maybe it's more uncomfortable for us than it is the fish.
I think once you get out there and start fishing, you forget all about the weather. You're
Probably
concentrating
so.
on just what you need to do and where you need to be.
Yeah, I guess that's right. I was thinking with the wind, if somebody was sight fishing, got to make it a little tougher.
Suzuki hats down here compliments a Bass 365. If anybody would like one, come on down now. Pass them out to you real quick.
I'm all about a hat.
That's all compliments a Bass
Yeah, you can't get it with a
365.
shot.
I'm all about a hat. That's
Anybody
right.
else want one?
Yeah, I love that. So we got guys
Come
coming.
down. These are good looking camo
Yeah,
hats.
he's only
right
got a
there.
handful of them. They better go get them.
Hey, I tell you what, look, I'm throwing the hats out right now.
Good one.
You get one. He's Oprah today. You get a hat. You get a
I
hat.
think if we need one, we can
you.
get one.
Best thing is like we got these guys that were slow. They're not gonna get a
We got
hat.
some bags of worms here too. We're gonna throw out here. There you go, young man. Hold on. We got more stuff. Don't take off yet.
You said you wanted one.
This is all compliments of Bass 365. Dwayne, you just
Listen
throw it
at
out
that.
there. No,
You all right, Barnes? I don't care what anybody says about you.
we appreciate them.
Look at that. I got a hat and didn't even have to get out.
Look at that. Delivered by the mayor.
Delivered by the
Ball.
mayor. Oh, listen, his ass just to buy a vote.
Yeah.
He's just trying to buy a vote. He's trying to buy a vote.
Well, you ain't cheap.
I ain't cheap.
Politicians, man.
I'm a pretty cheap date, but hat. My hat game's strong sometimes. So right now they're tossing worms out to the crowd.
Speaking of hats, we did have a comment. Somebody was wondering when the hats are going to be
Yeah,
out.
hats-
They're
hats
on
are coming
order.
in.
They are ordered.
I answered they're on order, but if
Listen,
you
we
didn't
got-
see the answer, they're coming.
They're coming, and I promise you. Watch out now. He's
Still a long way from China.
Yeah, it is. Listen at you right there.
Got some sunglass straps.
Hey, your sunglasses. You need some good sunglass straps right there. So, good
These
thing
folks
right
are
now.
getting some good stuff.
Good thing he's getting the crowd involved a little bit. Right there. You always can use a good koozie.
Absolutely.
Oh, he's giving out the expensive stuff for the Yamamoto.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, I'm
Let's
telling you
give
guys.
Bass 365 for doing a great
There you
job
go,
and
Bass
giving out
365.
all those
Great.
nice prizes also.
Good
we
job.
appreciate them. Also, guys from North Georgia. Is it North Georgia Outdoors, guys?
Fish North Georgia.
Fish North Georgia.
Yeah.
They've been here doing interviews with all our fishermen, been doing a great job. We appreciate them. We got boat number 12 coming.
All right,
to the
here we go.
scales
Right
here.
now, let's get started.
All right, guys,
We're
hang
going
on.
silent.
The first angler from the top 12, this is Jimmy Millsaps. He had 35.53 total weight after 2 days. How many we got today, Jimmy? Got 5 bass today.
So interesting how they do that. They bring in their bag, dump it in, and they put it in an official bag
Mhm.
and bring them up to the stage.
He said he's got 5 spotted bass. He said he's usually in trouble if he's weighing in spots.
Well, there you go. 5 spots.
Yeah.
The good news is he's going to get
13.
paid $10,000 at the
That's
end
right.
of the day, regardless.
He's fishing for profit today.
That's right. All right, he's got 5 bass today. That way, 1401. 1401.
he's
You
gonna
want to
end
get
up
a
right
picture of a couple of those, Jimmy? I don't know
1401
if we've had your picture made up here
Puts
on
him right
the
about
stage
50
yet or
pounds.
not.
puts him right about 50.
Considering the conditions, that's not a bad bag.
No, it's not.
Let's give him a big round
There
of
you go.
applause, guys.
Nice
That's
spots.
That's a fat
awesome
spot.
to compete against this field that he competed against to make the top 12. Going to win him at least $10,000 before the day is done. Thank you, sir.
All right.
Hey, thank you,
Here comes
Jimmy.
William Fletcher. He'll be the next one.
All right.
It should be Fletcher. So there you go, guys. Hey, all spotted bass bag right there.
You want to interview him now? We can't do it here.
Huh? Tell him we'll get him like right afterwards. Oh, we can do it right now. Yeah, we can do it right now. Jump on here, Jimmy, real quick. How you doing, sir?
Well, I got out of that wind. I'm doing a lot better.
Tell us about how it was out there today.
I tell you, for some reason on this lake, the largemouth's just pulling up in certain spots.
Yeah.
I mean, you can go in 50 pockets and not see anything. Then there'll be one pocket that's got them in it. And it was sort of windy while I caught them the first day, so I
Yeah.
just went spot fishing today.
Spot fishing today. So what do you think real quick about this tournament, this format?
I tell you, I've been fishing tournaments for 35 years. I fished bass, FLW, and this is probably the best tournament I've ever fished.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Congratulations.
Thank you, sir.
Appreciate you, bud.
He's got 5 bass today.
We'll work them in as we can right
Yeah.
there.
In this win, that's not an easy task.
So we got Fletcher. This is the Georgia boy right here, fishes NPFL.
Congratulations on making the top 12. Very much.
It's a long ways to bottom of this lake in this wind.
I guarantee that.
Knew they were going to run it.
He's got a sketch today that weighs 15.54. 15.54.
That's him right there.
All right,
Another solid bag.
Solid bag. Won't you tell him we'll let's see. We got another angler coming up. So we got a second if he comes up. We got a second. We'll try to get these interviews in between him calling out the weight. This is awesome.
William.
Hey, buddy, how are you?
I'm good, man. How are you?
Pretty good. Danny Pruitt,
William
nice,
Fletcher.
nice to meet you. Got to get you up to the shop
Yeah,
sometime soon. So tell me about the day. How was it?
I'm glad I was in that bass cat. I can promise you that.
There you go.
We ran all the way down the bottom end, and I've been down there all week.
Yeah.
And a little sporty coming back, but
Did you target spots today? Is that what you're going
no,
for?
I weighed a spot today. The only one I weighed all week.
Really?
Yeah.
So this tournament, this format, what do you think about it?
Oh, I love it. You know, I fish the MPFL right
That's right,
now,
yeah.
and I've fished it all over the years, and
Well, we got Kaz
I love this.
from
The
Hazel,
no
North
practice
Carolina.
part of this one was really cool.
Yeah.
He was in 9th place
Um,
after yesterday.
You know, I don't live but an hour and a half from here, but I don't
36,
fish over here
36.
Right, I know.
near as much as I probably need to.
Right. Well, I
This
tell you
place
what,
is awesome.
it is. Well, congratulations.
You did
You're
well.
going to go home with a check today. So
Yes,
that's
sir.
awesome.
Yeah, I told Jesse, I said, well, I had enough. I caught enough to get a check.
That's right, baby. That's awesome.
All right, guys.
Hey, take it easy.
Hey, call me. We'll come up one time.
Let's do that. I need to get you up to the shop
Yeah, man.
one Thursday night.
Sounds great.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
All right.
Good sack.
Is this
Good job,
Coswell
young
here?
man.
We got Kaz.
Kaz Anderson.
Kaz Anderson.
Congratulations. How'd you catch fish today?
Caught them all dragging a Berkeley Magnum hitworm pretty deep. It was tough. Just had to use instinct, trying to find out where they were sitting. And once you found some, you could usually catch quite a few. So had a big dry spell, caught a few this morning, had my best friends follow me around today. So it was an awesome day.
All right, buddy. Let's see what they weigh. You got a great bag of fish going right here. Listen to the weight. 19.53.
Wow.
19.53. Is that your biggest bag so far?
I had a little over 20 yesterday. I was hoping to break that today, but oh well.
Reach
He's
in there and get you a
consistent,
couple.
though.
That's a great bag of fish.
Listen,
That's going to move you way up the board there, I bet you.
it was a
Before
tough
this
day,
day's done.
but I still managed 19 pounds.
On them on the Berkeley.
You gotta love
Hitworm.
I
Kaz,
had
though.
those tough days.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hold them up good and
We'll
tall.
get him
Look
over
at
here in
those
just a
spots
second.
right there, guys.
Spotted
Give him
bass.
a big round of applause.
There you go.
Awesome bag of fish right there. Awesome.
All right, so we got Kaz going to jump on stage with us for a second. He was with
We'll
us
snag
yesterday
him here
afternoon.
in just a second.
Yeah, as soon as he signs it. But I had him as 9th. I had Gussie as 10th.
All right, I need the anglers 12 through 6.
So I
12
guess I'm not
through
doing any
6.
particular order,
Come
just
on
as
down
they
with your
come up.
fish.
No, 12 through 6. He's
As
calling.
okay, so I thought he was doing it in order. Come here, Kaz.
I'm good.
You gonna get it? You're gonna take this side. All right.
Oh. He gonna bump
They're
Kevin
gonna,
off.
they gonna bump Kevin. Get in here,
All right.
young man. All right, tell me about
Big
today.
boats, 10.
Tell me about it.
Man, it was fun. Had a ball. I ran all the way down this morning. Had my good buddy Shane with me as observing. Pulled up to the first spot. Boom, 3.5, 4.5. Like it was just going good. And then I caught one more bass, around like just a little over 2 pounds. And man, I had 3 fish for like a long time till like 11:30, and then pulled back in, calmed myself down, got in a good little area, settled down, started making some good casts. 4-pounder, 3.5, just started flowing. And the day just started flowing. It was. I keep telling myself all the time, it's not about how you start. It's just always a progression of the day and a progression of the tournament. And this week was all about that progression. I stumbled the first day, kicking myself so hard for that.
Yeah.
But oh well, man, we backed it off strong the last 2 days and caught them all dragging that Berkeley hitworm. They just green pumpkin, light shaky head, just, it's all you can do. So happy as can be for sure. it was a good day.
It's awesome
Good day.
seeing you, dude.
Thank you, man.
Go talk to your fans.
Absolutely.
Here's Emil.
And he's got a bag full today. Great job, young man.
Pay
He had a
attention right here.
birthday yesterday.
I did. I turned 26 yesterday.
Oh, tough life.
Congratulations. Let's give him a big round of applause on that.
Tough life. 26.
Listen to the weight. He's
Hard on
got
him,
a
huh?
great bag today. He's going to make some people nervous. 19.59. 19.59.
So that puts him
Reach in
right
there and
at
grab,
60
grab a
pounds.
couple of those out.
19.
James, nice to meet you, man. Let's go fishing sometime.
19. That puts him right at
Got a
60.
birthday going on this week. Maybe
Look at him.
top 12 against one of the toughest fields around.
Be off spot.
Give him a
Yeah.
big round of applause.
Actually,
I'm going to find out a little bit about how he caught his fish today.
we might need to
Yep.
pause.
So the first day and most of yesterday was all about a shaky head with just a Berkeley general 8th and a 3/16, throwing it up on shallow points where those spotted bass were spawning. And then today I had to mix it up a little bit. Actually ended up catching a lot of them on a Deniki rig with no forward-facing sonar, so that was interesting. But that's how I caught pretty much all of them. Kept it really simple, and it was a super fun week. I actually enjoyed not having it for a little while, and it was a fun format. I'm gonna be at the next one for sure.
And the 100% type payout doesn't hurt anything either, does it?
No, yeah. Yesterday was super stressful. So was the first day, but it was nice today because even if you zero, you're making $5,000, and worse you can finish as 12.
So you're making $5,000 over your entry fee if you finish last place. That's not a bad couple of days' work.
No, not at all.
We appreciate you. Thank you, sir. Good job. Give him one more big round of applause. In 10th place, Jeff Johnston. In 10th place, he had 36.69 after 2 days. Gustafson. I struggled with a few names during the week.
Okay. Yeah. You can keep him coming.
Joey knows all about that, don't you, Joey? Yeah. How you doing, young man? Great. You had a good time?
So we
Yeah,
got-
it's been. I said it yesterday, but this is what probably my favorite lake, and so it's good. I'm glad I got to get another day in out there, and a little lighter today, but still had a pretty good day. And yeah, fun last, fun week for sure.
Great, buddy. You've done a great job. You got a good catch again today with 17.15. 17.15. Thank you, sir. You want to get a picture with a couple? Yeah.
All right, so there's Gus. He just weighed in, and we're going to try to get him and Emil as they come off. Trying to kind of space this a little bit because
Let's give Jeff a big round of applause. He traveled a long way
Look at
to get here. What's your hometown, Jeff?
I live up in Kenora, Ontario, so Lake
Good
of the
Lord,
Woods,
the
if you
Canadians
fish and
are
go,
just
it's a great
dominating.
place to go fishing. We have the best walleye fishing in the world and good bass fishing too. But
Pretty country up in there also.
it is. It's awesome. My buddies were still ice fishing a couple days ago, but it's near the end, and another month or so, and we'll be in the boat up there.
Let's give him a big round of applause for coming all this way and supporting the local community down here. We appreciate that.
Emil, come on in.
come here, beautiful.
Thanks.
How you doing?
Joey Cifuentes from Clinton, Arkansas.
Tell me about the week, man.
It was good. I mean, it was different. No forward-facing sonar, still catching them offshore. But
That's what I was going to
Man.
ask you. Is that what you concentrated on?
yeah, every fish I caught was off the bank.
Off the bay, out and about how deep water?
Honestly, some of them I caught a few on the seawalls, so they were in like 100, but they were suspended in
Suspended
5
on
foot
that?
or so. Yeah,
I got
and it
you.
was pretty dang fun. The yesterday I did not have a bass at 11 o'clock.
Seriously.
Zero. Like I'm talking not a 14 incher. And
like a football.
It was super stressful.
As long as he measures, that's what matters. Okay, we got 5 bass that weigh 13.29. 13.29. Reach in there and grab a couple of those. Let's get your picture made with
I'm
him.
all tore up.
Joey's done great. He said our prayer this morning for us. We really appreciate him for that. He said it 2 out of the 3 days, so we appreciate him. Give him a big round of applause.
So while we're
Great
pausing,
young man. Got a
Cifuentes,
great future ahead of him in this sport.
I want to know
We
what
sure
your take
appreciate
is.
you, sir. They
on
got
this
you a
tournament
towel
format.
right there if you need it.
Really fun. Yeah, I obviously wouldn't. I really like live scope. I like using it, but it'd be nice to have some tournaments where I can use it and some where I can't. So I'll be at every one that I can be at that the schedule allows it.
Absolutely. You got to buy dinner next time you come up.
That's fair.
You're winning all this money.
That's fair. Whatever.
0.84 after 2 days.
Just keep bringing that good beer.
Oh, absolutely.
Got 5 more bass today.
You think Johnston will break 70?
70?
If he has 21 today.
He's only got 15. I asked him.
Oh, you did? Okay, we'll see.
I don't know if I'm supposed to be whispering, but
Start working their way down.
Get back up there because you're going to be in the top 5 and all that.
Making the top
Need to get back up to the shop.
yeah, for sure. We'll do another one. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Format and
We got
Come
this-
on.
you know, wish I would have caught him a little bit better today, but I've been totally good with it. I went trying to catch a big bag and came up with 1 big one, and the other 4 just keepers. But I can't complain a bit.
Let's see what they weigh. 14.02, 4.02. Reach in there and grab a couple. Let's get your picture, man. Okay, grab one of them. All right.
Care what the format is.
Right.
If we can go
Oh,
and
look at
gamble
that.
for
That's
bass,
a beautiful bass right there. Give him a big
I don't know.
round
I
of
wouldn't say I
applause,
like
folks.
fishing more without forward sonar because you certainly are going to catch more and have more fun and see cool stuff. I love that, but again, you're never going to hear me be a crybaby or complain.
Oh, right.
Or I'm just happy to get to fish a tournament. So I caught a lot of them on 2D, old school, which is kind of how I grew up fishing. And yeah, it was fun. This is an awesome lake, and it you look at the weights, it's pretty impressive.
So I know you love Lake Lanier, though.
Yeah, it's my favorite lake in the South for sure. Absolutely. I've probably got 50 or 60 days on it. This is, I think, my 3rd tournament that I've got to fish here, but yeah, it's a special place for sure.
Well, congratulations on making the final day. Nice to meet you.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
Cory had 38.34 after 2 days. Has him in 8th place. That's a nice one they just put in the bag right there. If he's got 5 more of them. Is that a big old spot you just
Sorry
put in
about
there,
that, guys.
Yeah.
Once they get to talking, it's hard to stop right there. So we know we're talking over it. We're trying not to.
Yeah, that's a good one too. Good bag of fish right here. This is going to move him up the line right here. Good job today, buddy. How'd you catch your fish?
I mixed it up. I did a little sight fishing, and then I wasn't working out today, so I had to go wrangle up some spots.
He's got 18 points.
I bet you didn't play out there coming up.
18.87. 18.87. Reach in there and grab that couple of big ones out there. He's got some beautiful bass right here, folks. Lake Lanier has really showed out this week. It's been phenomenal.
All right, yeah, we got to talk in between them and all that, but
Yeah, they got quiet for a
he got quiet. So I got Rob Jordan here, great local angler.
Look at these 2 beautiful fish right here. Give him a big round of applause right there. He drove a long ways to get here from Canada also. We appreciate that.
Dude made the top 12, had a good showing.
Yeah, had to come out of retirement.
Come out of
man.
retirement. You need
I
to do it a
hadn't
little
fished
more
that.
often.
I hadn't fished that much, which I used to fish every day.
Right.
I hadn't fished that much in a while, so I really kind of got the itch going again.
That's right.
From North Carolina. David's in 5th place with 39.15. 39.15.
What do you think about these weights, though?
Oh, it's incredible,
What's
man.
currently
And really,
leading now after
I know that just from what I see on the internet, everybody thinks it's just sight fishing, but not all these largemouth are caught just straight looking at them. Some of them are certainly, but I mean, you catch them doing a lot of different things. They're not all spawning at the same time, especially today. It's just kind of in certain little areas.
Right.
Incredible, though, man.
We need to get you up at the shop. Get you back on the Thursday nighter soon.
Oh, I look forward to it. Yeah.
Soon.
Oh, yeah.
So after this, let's schedule it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, perfect.
Well, Pap showed
See
out
what he's
today,
got
didn't
right
he,
here.
young man? Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, listen to the weight. He's got a sack full. Beautiful bag of fish. Today's weight. 22.64. 22.64.
That's going to
He's
cause
got a helper up here to help him hold some of his
Taking his
fish
little boy
in his
with him, too.
picture.
That's cool.
He's been helping him all week. Dad showed out all week. so far.
What do you think about our
Sitting in
lake, though?
fifth place.
Dude,
She's
world,
healthy.
world class,
47 of the
man.
best
It really doesn't
anglers
get
in
any
the
better
country.
than this place.
That's right.
This is going to
when you're
move. Hold
catching
that thing with two hands.
largemouth
now,
like
young
that,
Yeah.
in big
Look
spots.
at-
too.
man. He's got a bag full of them.
Look at that right there.
Let's give these two young men a big round of applause, guys.
young
Great
men.
job. Awesome catch. All right, we're going to find out a little bit about what he caught them on, then we're going to get those fish back in the lake. Tell us a little bit about your day, Dave.
Oh, man, I didn't know what to do with this cold front coming through. I'd been catching most of them on a true south buzzbait. Zoom morning goes on.
See, that's what.
And this morning they just went.
I've been, at night I see a lot of comments. Everybody saying, "Oh, it's just sight fishing." It's like, no, it's a lot of other stuff going
I
on.
finally ended up just slowing
Buzzbait.
down,
Yeah.
just picking apart some docks and stuff like that. And it just seemed like, every once in a while I'd get around the big one. And I'd caught a lot of fish, and then ended up catching a couple on the buzzbait, this evening. But most of them today come off of a queen tackle half-ounce jig, Zoom Z-crawl trailer, just flipping any docks I come by. But a lot of the buzzbait fish I caught this week were actually fish that we marked on the beds on the ride around day. You just throw over top of them and they come up and eat it.
If you had a good format.
Oh, I love it. The best part I like about it is, we don't have any practice, so it's kind of unknown.
Yeah.
You
I've heard a lot
don't,
of people say that.
You don't have people out, sticking a bunch of fish during practice. Usually most tournaments are 3 to 5 days practice. So time tournament rolls around, the shallow fish get beat up pretty bad. And in this format, they're all fresh. They're not touched, and so it makes it for a fun tournament because a lot of guys like to lean on them during practice, and it's hard to stay up on them like that.
That's a great point. That's a really great point. And with these the anglers today with their capabilities, I mean, after 3 days of practice, these fish are hammered on pretty good.
Yeah, for sure, and especially when a lot of them shallow like this, and it's fun. It's fun fishing right now. So if it would have stayed warm, I would have loved to see what with the weights, but it actually made it a lot tougher with the cold fronts passing through. But it's going to be phenomenal here in a few days.
I guarantee you with that full moon coming. All right, well, great job. Give him one more big round of applause, guys.
22 pounds.
He's incredible shallow fish.
He is. And what do you think about fishing against guys like this? Being able
I
to
mean,
just jump back in.
I mean, I have fished with many of them before.
Yeah.
I really enjoy it. I enjoy that level of competition because these guys don't cut you any slack, and it forces you to, step up your game too. I would definitely say,
He's got 5.
definitely say for what I like to really do the best out here in April, it's probably about a week or 2
Getting close.
early, but yeah.
Well,
Got a little bit of it the first day, but
go on and jump to your fans and all that. But let's get you up at the shop.
absolutely, man. Let's talk this
Seriously,
week. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, I'll call you. All right, here we go. We got Litner here.
Jared's been hanging right in there, had a little bit tougher day today. We're going to find out how he caught his fish this week. He's still got a great bag of fish, 16.25. Jared, reach in there and grab you just a couple out. Let's get your picture made with him. He's done had a picture made with the 7-pounder this week, so he's had a great week of fishing. A little bit tougher day today, but still a good bag of fish with the wind blowing 25 to 40 miles an hour.
This lake is showing out, man.
Hold him up good and tall. Let's give him a big round of applause, guys. Great bag right there. Going to keep him in solid position. Tell us a little about your week and how you caught that 7-pounder and stuff this week.
Man, I love sight fishing. I love fishing shallow, so that's what I did. And before I ride around, I just high bypass on the trolling motor and tried to find a couple areas. And unfortunately, the main area where I caught him the first day, the wind pounded in there for the past 2 days. So kind of scrambled around. I caught some spots today, largemouth fishing, so that was fun. But besides that, it was an awesome week. This format is really, really fun. And like David mentioned, the no practice, I love. Figure things out on the fly. Let's roll.
Dude, that really test angler skill, and you guys have showed out this week. Great job. Let's give him a big round of applause, guys. Great job.
Yeah. So
all right, we're at boat number 2. This is Drew.
He needs
Drew Cook. Drew after 2
things
days of
on.
fishing had 42.33. And we got 5 today, Drew.
we're having to talk in between them because we're running the same mics. So, but I got to ask you about the buzzbait. I got to ask you about the buzzbait. That's one bait we didn't expect to make a play.
Currently leading is David Williams with 61.79. 61.79. Drew had 42.33 after 2 days. I ain't real good at math, but we'll figure that out here shortly. He's got a 5 bass limit.
That old wind. $16.76. Reach in there, Drew. You're gonna get one of these math checks.
He's
I
had
think
a
you are.
phenomenal week. Was in second place coming into the day. Some great fishermen. Give him a big round of applause, guys.
So I got David
Awesome
Williams
bag right there.
I got David Williams sitting here with me right now, real quick.
Drew, tell us a little bit about your day.
He's gonna talk again. We're gonna try to.
I found the same amount of fish, found the same size fish, got the same bites as I have the first 2 days. I just lost 2 of them, and you can't do that. But I found one bed that had 2 5-pounders and a male on it. And I caught the first female, and the other female was up there. I was like, man, it's fixing to be like taking care of a baby, and lost her, and then spent a whole lot of time on it. But it was fun this week. I got the sight fish, just burning up the bank on troll motor, doing what I love to do, and I like the format. We kind of just went with it and fished new water every day, and had a blast.
Hey, we appreciate you taking the chance on a new format, and we really appreciate you being here. You've done great this week, dude. That's awesome. Thank you. All right. So he's looking forward
Let's
to the
see.
next one.
All right, so here we go.
We hope that we'll get some
We got our
plans
leader right here.
for all you guys in the future, so you'll know what's going on. This is Chris Johnston. He's our leader after 2 days, and he had 48.88 after 2 days of fishing. Chris, you got your limit today? He's got his limit today. Looks like a good solid start right there. Do we know, before we bring him up here, can we tally up how much he needs to take over the lead? Have we got any idea?
We got an idea here.
He had 48.88 after 2 days.
I think we figured 14 something right there.
Yeah. More right in there.
But I'm telling you what, I think you're gonna be buying dinner. I think you're gonna be buying
He's
dinner.
12.92 to take over the lead. What do you think?
It was a lot tougher day today. I left the door open a little bit, but I was happy to get what I got. I didn't get many opportunities, so those were hard to come by.
Dude, you put the pressure on him, and you had a nice lead going in. That always is a good thing.
Oh.
Listen to the weight. We got a new leader at 16.4. Oh, okay. Thank you.
Da-da-dun, da-da-dun.
16.50. 16.50. Reach in there. That's $65,000 worth right there.
70 because he had big fish.
70 because I did this, so that gives you second, right?
Let's give him a big round of applause right there.
So Chris Johnston's won the
We're
tournament
going to
here.
talk a little bit about how he caught his fish this week. Dude, tell us a little bit about your week. That's a big relief, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm glad the first 2 days went the way they did, because today was a much tougher day. That cold front, I was fishing shallow, catching bedded fish all 3 days, and I just didn't see many big females today. And I marked a bunch of 3-pounders, and half of those were gone. So I had to go fish new water, and like I said, I only caught probably 8 or 9 fish, and I never really had a crack at a female. And that's what I've been catching the first couple of days to get that 24 pounds. And almost every fish was on a Nori's front flapper, 1/4 ounce weight, straight shank 4-rod, Aaron Martin's flipping hook, and just sight fishing is what I love to do. Get on the trolling motor and just move around, get in behind the docks, go down some shore pockets, and I just fish new water every day and hope you come across a couple big females.
So let's talk about that 8-pounder you caught yesterday. So you see that laying on the bed, right?
Yeah, I was just going down the bank, and I was actually in some shade, and I'm going down, and all of a sudden I looked down, and I thought, oh my God. It is an absolute giant. I can see the Ollie's eyes bulge out of its head. You know it's a giant when you see that.
Yeah.
And it just swam off, and I pretended I don't even see it. I just kept going, and I did a big circle, and ended up setting up on it. I couldn't really find its bed because it was in that shade. And after about 30 minutes, I was about ready to give up because it was kind of rolling a bit, and I didn't think it was going to bite. The male didn't really care. She didn't care. And I said to my my marshal, I said, 5 more minutes, we're going to go. And 5 minutes was up. I said, okay, 1 or 2 more flips. I flip out, and I'm shaking in front of it. All of a sudden, I went tail up and just sucked it in. I couldn't believe it when I set the hook on that thing. It was chaos. Got it in 8 pounds, and that made my tournament.
Dude, that's awesome. Let's give him a big round of applause. We got a little special prize for you here that Mr. Alan Brooks, who got this tournament going, wants to present to you.
Look at that. So much. It's a pot tournament. So in the spirit of the pot tournament, we've got some wide envelopes full of cash, y'all.
There we go. You're going to get one of those. You're going to get one of those. There you go. So Chris Johnston has won the first ever Touring Anglers Association tournament right here, as you see right there on the screen.
Man, thank you guys for coming down and investing in this thing. And you know, we got many more to come. I want to get a couple pictures for your envelopes. Let me hold that up. That's straight.
We can do it. Listen, you tackle him, and I'll run. I'm still pretty quick. You tackle him, I'll run. We'll get it. We got it. We can do it.
Thank you guys for coming, Chris. And you know, I want to do a few things too. I want to thank my Serve IT family for coming down and all the effort that they did. It's unbelievable. This is our first tournament ever. This was an idea, you know, it was just a thought, and we're trying to turn it into a thing. You know, we love bass fishing, and we're trying to take it back to its roots. I want to thank my family. I want to thank my wife for putting up with this crazy idea. I have no idea where it came from or why I did it, but now I want to do it more. I want to thank James Knuckles. Because, you know, I didn't know what was going on, but he's a legend. He's been doing this for 30 years. I want to thank all the people that covered this. I want to thank the anglers. I want to thank the anglers that invested in this. And, you know, guys, you know, it's tough out there. We drive around, we go all over the place. And I don't know. I like the no practice format. I like the 100% payback format. So let's just see where it goes. But, Chris, again, congratulations, man. Thank you very much.
I just want to thank everyone for coming out, supporting this event, and especially Alan for putting this together. And hopefully there's many more in the years to come. So thank you very much.
Thank you, guys.
All right, so let's see if he's done
We got a
talking.
great first champion. Congratulations. All righty.
All right, so David, so now I get to ask a question about them buzz baits.
All right. For coming
So-
out. It's been a great crowd every day.
I thought I was getting ready to get asked you.
Let's give all these
James likes to talk.
He does. He does.
They've put on a great show the last 3 days. They've done great.
So
And one
you
of
cut
the
him?
things, too, that people don't realize,
Okay, he cut his mic. So now we can talk.
Okay.
All right, so you know we were wondering how everybody was catching their fish,
Yeah.
and we knew that sight fishing was coming into play, but the buzz bait, the buzz bait. Why did you choose a buzz bait?
I don't know. I just, you know, I like to throw moving baits more than anything. That's just what I've done my whole life. And if I can catch them on moving baits, I'd rather do that than having to slow down, especially with the format. With the format, we didn't have no practice. So I feel like, okay, I got to cover water.
Yeah.
I got to cover water and see how it goes. I marked a bunch of bedding fish. I said, I'll run some of those. And as I was going into some of the pockets to the bedding fish, I mean, I started catching them, you know, and the first day was phenomenal with that, you know, cloudy and warm weather, and they were really eating good. I probably caught 40 bass that first day, and it was just like, all right, I'm not slowing down to catch bedding fish unless it's really big.
Right.
And I did catch a few like that, and caught a couple of my key fish like that. But you know, with what scared me was yesterday. I had a really good bag yesterday at about 10 or 10:30, and then that, as you know, that cold front blew through about that time.
Yes, it did.
And boy, I never caught another fish that helped me. I had 19.5 pounds or something like that, you know, at that point, and then it just quit. I mean, I could catch some small ones, and that was about it. And so I was kind of, I was like, I'm gonna have to try something else.
Right.
And I've been running new water the whole time. I'd run just different areas the entire term. I never really fished the same areas twice. And so today I done a little search of some areas I thought might be productive, and I ran a couple places that didn't work out, and then I think about my second or third stop, I started catching them, and
Yeah.
I didn't hardly pick the trolling motor up after that. I just fished everything I came by, docks, bushes, brush, whatever, and I just kept covering water, and today I picked up the jig, just had to pick it apart because of the high pressure,
Right.
and it was just seemed like every 3 or 4 fish I caught one would be a big one.
Yeah.
And I'd caught a lot of smaller fish, and then I was able to get I had one probably 6 pounds a day, maybe 6.5. I had another one probably 5 pounds, and the other 3 were probably around 4,
Yeah.
So I had some solid fish, and I caught several, over 3 pounds. So, but it was a fun day. I didn't get near as many of the topwater bites today. I did have one good one. I actually stopped in a pocket right up here as I was coming in and caught like a 4-pound largemouth and cold 3.5-pound spot. So
yeah,
I said, man, it's just going that kind of day. You're like, man, I may have a chance here.
You may.
I knew if Chris had to slip up, which he normally don't do. He's a closer.
Yeah.
And he does his job. So, I done all I could do. I just had a little bit too big of a hole to dig out of. I did lose a 5-pounder yesterday on a cable. I had it hanging on the cable and just dangling there, and I'm going to it, and she made one hard shake right before I got to her and come off. I had the net, and I was going to her, and I was like, that would have made me a mid-20s bag yesterday. Wow. I had almost 20.
Yeah.
And I had like a 2-pounder in the bag.
Couldn't call that. That's the story of my life. Is that one last one I can't ever get rid of.
Exactly.
Right,
but it's a True South V-twin buzzbait.
Okay.
I just put it's just one I throw a lot. He's a True South is a guy up at home. He makes custom lures.
Yeah.
And anything you want, if you got an idea, he'll build it for you.
That's right.
And he builds a V-twin buzz. He builds a lot of different buzz bait, spinner bait,
yeah,
jigs, and it's real slow. It just crawls. I was throwing a little, I think it's like an 1/8 ounce or something, just small, and they would just suck it in, and when they had it, they had it.
Well, I tell you what, I don't want to hold you up from going and getting that $30,000 you just won like that, but we can follow you on the MPFL, correct?
Yes.
That's awesome. I
started fishing with them this year, and hopefully we get some more of these going. So
I
love the no practice and no live scope.
It's awesome.
I'm not against live scope. It's just,
but this is throwback.
It just takes away, with the money aspect. I mean, it's hard for the kids to get, they feel like that they've got to spend that. To be competitive, and they really do anymore, because I'm not competitive with that, and I don't use it, and when I got to fish against it. So
right.
It's made it tough on me.
That's all right. Next time you see Big Al,
all right,
give him a swift kick in the butt for Fish North Georgia and all that.
Sounds good.
Man, we appreciate you spending a little time. I appreciate your patience.
No problem. Thank you.
Go get that money.
Appreciate it.
Go get that money. All right, where are we sitting here now? Woo.
Well,
gonna be what now? All right, so in a second we're gonna have the first place winner, the champion of the inaugural Touring Anglers Association's pot tournament from Canada, Mr. Chris Johnston, and had a hell of a week. So they're over there getting
these guys got to get
right
their
now.
money, then we'll
They're
snag some of them.
paid right now. So I hope you guys enjoyed that so far. And again, we're gonna hang out just a little bit longer, see if we can get Chris on the show. And
I also talked to Joey Cifuentes and told him to come see us before he left.
Yes, okay. We're gonna bring you a few more interviews, so you guys hang around. But I tell you what, so far, I mean, just my time, it's been impressive. It's been fun. Every one of the anglers loves this format.
They're all excited about it.
And if this is the organization that will keep it going, so be it. That's the way it should be. But I really wish that some of the some of the other the Bassmasters, MLF, they would just at least So and make it a charity tournament.
No
non-point,
practice. That's
no
what
practice.
Made the difference.
Everybody has said that. No
Everybody
practice.
said no practice.
No practice.
No
and they like
smallmouth.
that. And so that's and you know what? If they didn't have the practice on all the other things, these guys would get to spend more time at home. And that's one of the big things that Alan wanted to concentrate on, was trying to keep these guys, with their families a little bit more. So, you're not spending a week and a half before the tournament on a lake. And so that's a big thing. But I tell you what, just watching, Emil, a local guy, Emil Wagner, who did not sight fish. He didn't sight fish, took third in this tournament.
Did y'all take note of what he just said? Did not sight fish.
Did not sight fish. So the winner did, and Mr. Williamson said he did, but he went at it a little bit different way. Not so much pitching in the beds, but throwing a moving bait over across the top of it.
Total different approach.
Totally different approach to that. And so that's what I found interesting on that. And so basically you had your winner did a lot of sight fishing. Your second place guy, a different tactic with sight fishing. And then your third place guy, Emil, not at all. Not at all. And so if anybody ever keeps up with Emil, he is one of those forward-facing sonar gurus. So he knows how to do it. So, all right, so we got the champ walking over here right now.
You gonna give him your seat? Okay.
Sit right here.
Thank you. You can have whatever chair you want,
Whatever
sir.
chair you want.
All right. Right here looks good.
Chris Johnston, congratulations, man.
Thank you very much.
So I tell you what, you had a hell of a 3 days.
Yeah, I had a great first 2 days. Today it was tough.
Yeah, but still, I mean, tell everybody a little bit. First, I want to know what your take is on Lake Lanier.
It's a phenomenal fishery. I've known this for the last 7 or 8 years since the first year I fished here. I think I've been here twice, and I fished spotted bass mostly.
Yeah.
But I'd always heard there's great largemouth, but you can only really get them during the spawn. And when this tournament was announced, people were talking about it. I kind of looked at the schedule. I thought there could be a good chance those largemouth will be spawning. And I figured that's my best chance to compete here is when the largemouth are spawning. So
absolutely,
sign me up.
And you waxed on them.
I got them pretty good. Yeah, it was fun.
So not only did you win first place, 65,000, but you got that big fish yesterday. You took care of that, and we were listening to you talk about it. Talk about it. But what I found curious was just like every angler out there, you're like, we're going to go, but one more cast, just one more. And that was what got it for you.
I was probably on it for 30 minutes. And I said to my marshal, I said, 5 more minutes. I set a time.
Yeah.
I said, we got to leave. I did not think it was going to bite because it was rolling a bit. It was kind of doing the spawning thing. And literally the 5 minutes was up. And he said, all right. I said, no, I need one or two more casts. And literally that last cast, I was just shaking it. And it set the hook.
Dude,
I couldn't believe it.
I mean, we were sitting there oohing and ahhing yesterday when you're holding it up. Now, let's talk about your mentality, though. Knowing the weather was going to change a little bit going into day 3, knowing that you had a so kind of tell me a little bit about your mindset going into today.
Well, it kind of started yesterday, especially after I caught that 8-pounder. I knew I had what I needed. I was kind of looking for 3-pounders at that point. I was trying to mark fish for the next day, knowing today was going to be miserable, nasty. I was looking on calm shores, so it was supposed to be calm today. So I could get that 16 to 17 pounds, which kind of takes the pressure off. And then you can go looking for those big females and just cover water. So that's how I had my mindset yesterday coming into today. And today I ran some of those 3-pounders and half of them were gone. That cold front really messed it up.
It did.
Yeah, so it was a tough start this morning. Luckily, I marked one. I was so close to catching it yesterday because I said it was 3.5 to 4. And I saw it. I had like 21 pounds yesterday at this point, and it would have helped me half a pound. But I'm like, you know what? I'm going to leave this one. I'm going to need it tomorrow even more. So I left it. And luckily, I went to that one today. It was my biggest fish of the day. So I'm super glad I didn't catch that yesterday.
No, that's awesome. Tell me a little bit about what you think about this tournament format.
It's really cool. It seems like high stakes poker is honestly what it feels like.
Gambling.
Yeah, you show up, pay your money, and you're in town for 4 days, and then you're gone. So it's really cool that way. You're not gone from home a long time. The 4 hours practice kind of makes it fair for everyone. And then the no live scope. I'm not against live scope by any means. It's just another tool in the tackle box, but it's kind of cool to fish without it too. So just change things up.
Well, I tell you what, I want to say congratulations I will say this. Alan said this. He goes, if this was a smallmouth tournament, you guys would kill us. When we were talking beforehand and all that, but you came down here, Lake Lanier, you got the largemouth. You put on a hell of a show all week. And I want to say thank you for being one of the pros that jumped into this and took a chance, man. It's just awesome. All the respect in the world to you guys.
I appreciate you guys having me. This was a great tournament. Alan put on an awesome show, and I'm looking forward to seeing what he can do next year. He's got big things in the works, he said, so it should be pretty exciting.
Well, man, I tell you what, go over there and you got to take a picture now. Again, congratulations, and
thank you very much.
We'll look forward to following you on your pro tour.
On to Florida now.
On to Florida. So nice little quick stop and check on the way to Florida.
Stop, yeah.
So
Pay
there
the
you go.
expenses.
That's right. Well, there you go, guys. So there you go. Chris Johnston, a Canadian, came down to Lake Lanier down here in the old South.
3 Canadians on the top 12.
3 Canadians.
3.
And I tell you what I take away from that. First of all, guys, every angler that took the time, every pro angler, we knew all the local guys, and they're always so gracious with their time, but every pro that stopped and talked, man, I tell you what I heard. First of all, they were nice. That no practice, that quick turnaround. Like you said, this tournament it's like gambling. It's like running to the casino, throwing your money down, seeing what you could do for X amount of time, and then heading on to the next one.
That's what he said. 4 days and back home again.
4 days and all that. So
it's a good challenge for him. It's a little different format. No practice.
It is. Absolutely is. So
you're having to change your game.
Yeah. So all right. So the guys, I tell you what, with that, the first ever Touring Anglers Association tournament is over, and I'm going to go over there and rub elbows with some of these pros. I might not see them here anytime soon. We hope you enjoyed the coverage. Again, we ain't pros, but we have a lot of fun talking fishing. And again, if you're interested in the live wells, hey, Tuesday nights and Thursday nights at Fish North Georgia on YouTube, we do a show every week. The Tuesday nighters are all about all the other species. I believe we got a trout episode coming up this Tuesday night. And next Thursday night, we'll get back to our big lake, our bass. And I'm sure we'll be talking about this some. And hopefully, actually, I think I'm going to see if Rob Jordan, one of those guys that actually fished this tournament, will come on up to the shop and we'll talk about it. So, again, guys, listen, follow this. Follow Alan Brooks. Follow the Touring Anglers Association and help this grow, because I can tell you what, every single one of these anglers, they loved it. They had a hell of a time and all that. So, it's been great covering it. We appreciate you guys watching, and we will see you on the next one. You guys enjoy your weekend.
Be safe out there.